The ancient Roman city of Pompeii offers a unique glimpse into the past, capturing a moment of life abruptly halted by the fury of nature. Once a bustling hub of commerce and culture, Pompeii's streets echoed with the sounds of merchants, artisans, and citizens going about their daily lives. But everything changed on a fateful day in 79 AD when Mount Vesuvius erupted with a devastating force. The eruption sent a deadly cloud of volcanic ash, pumice, and gases into the sky, descending upon Pompeii and neighbouring towns. Within hours, the city was buried under meters of ash, preserving buildings, objects, and even the residents in a chilling tableau of their final moments. So, what's the history of the destruction of Pompeii? Throughout the annals of history, countless volcanic eruptions have left their mark on humanity, but none seizes our collective imagination as powerfully as the cataclysm that engulfed Pompeii. Cradled in the menacing shadow of Mount Vesuvius, Pompeii was a vibrant city teeming with life. Founded by the Greeks in the 8th century BC and later flourishing under Roman dominion, Pompeii emerged as a bustling resort town. Renowned for its grand public edifices, opulent private residences adorned with lavish decorations, and a thriving economy, the city was a magnet for the wealthy elite. Home to as many as 20,000 inhabitants, Pompeii buzzed with the activity of affluent tourists and the skilled artisans who served them. Mount Vesuvius, a formidable volcano known for its unnervingly frequent eruptions, has erupted over 50 times since its creation. While the notion may seem counterintuitive, there exists a curious fascination with dwelling near the presence of a volcano. One of the most intriguing advantages lies in the fertile bounty bestowed upon the land by volcanic activity. The ashes and minerals spewed forth during eruptions blanket the surrounding soil, enriching it with nutrients essential for abundant growth. From lush vineyards to thriving farmlands, the agricultural bounty reaped from this fertile soil is a testament to the symbiotic relationship between humanity and the volcano. In 79 AD, Pompeii's inhabitants were still mending their city from a devastating earthquake 17 years earlier, when a series of shallow tremors signalled Vesuvius's impending fury. For the people of Pompeii, living in an age where the inner workings of the earth were shrouded in mystery, such a connection was far from obvious, and so they set about rebuilding their city, unaware that these tremors were precursors to a far greater disaster. To them, the quakes were part of life's unpredictable tapestry, perhaps an expression of divine displeasure, or simply the whims of nature. On that fateful morning in 79 AD, the bustling streets of Pompeii were alive with the sounds of daily life, the chatter of merchants in the market, the laughter of children playing, the clatter of horse-drawn carts. The sun casts a warm glow over the city, reflecting off the marble columns and terracotta roofs. But on this fateful day, a strange quiet begins to settle over Pompeii as the sky darkens, and an ominous hush spreads throughout the streets, as the air around Mount Vesuvius was filled with an eerie stillness. The sun, once shining brightly over the bustling city of Pompeii, was gradually obscured by an unnatural darkness. Birds ceased their singing, and animals grew restless, sensing the impending doom that humans could not yet comprehend. In the breath between heartbeats, Mount Vesuvius erupted with a terrifying ferocity. Towering into the sky, a colossal plume of ash, pumice, and gases burst forth, rising miles above the mountain. Molten rock and scalding ash rained down at an unimaginable rate of 1.5 million tons per second. This cataclysmic event unleashed a force 100,000 times more powerful than the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The ground trembled violently, as if the earth itself were convulsing in agony. The initial eruption sent a wave of panic through the streets of Pompeii. People looked up in horror, their faces etched with confusion and fear. As the ashfall intensified, the temperature began to rise. The air grew stiflingly hot, and a pungent smell of sulfur permeated the atmosphere. The ash, now mixed with tiny shards of glass-like pumice, made breathing difficult and painful. It filled the lungs of the Pompeians, causing them to cough and choke as they scrambled for shelter. In his surviving testimony, Pliny the Younger, a young Roman scholar studying at his uncle's estate, describes the strange and enormous cloud rising ominously into the sky. Its general appearance can be best expressed as being like an umbrella pine, for it rose to a great height on a sort of trunk and then split off into branches. While some Pompeians fled in fear, many remained, unaware of the impending catastrophe. Buildings groaned under the weight of the accumulating ash. Roofs began to collapse, sending plumes of dust and debris into the already murky air. The streets, once vibrant with activity, were now scenes of chaos and despair. People fled in all directions, some seeking refuge in their homes, others trying to escape the city entirely. But the horrors were just beginning. As the day wore on, larger chunks of pumice and rock rained down, smashing through rooftops and striking those unfortunate enough to be caught outside. The ground was soon littered with debris, making movement treacherous. The once bustling marketplaces and public squares became death traps, filled with falling stones and collapsing structures. Despite seeking shelter indoors, larger chunks of pumice and rock rained down from the angry skies, mercilessly crushing buildings and trapping the countless souls within. The cacophony of the eruption was relentless. Thunderous booms and the screams of terrified citizens filled the air. Pliny the Elder, a Roman naval commander and naturalist, was compelled by a sense of duty and curiosity to investigate the phenomenon and assist those in peril. Setting sail with a fleet across the Bay of Naples, Pliny the Elder's mission was twofold: to observe the natural event and rescue the inhabitants trapped by the eruption. His vessels were besieged by a barrage of raining stones and pumice unleashed by the wrathful mountain. Upon reaching Stabiae, Pliny and his companions disembarked and took refuge in a villa. Overwhelmed by the thickening ash and poisonous fumes, they struggled to breathe. Pliny's robust frame, combined with asthma, made the suffocating conditions even more unbearable. Pliny the Elder's final moments were marked by his attempt to rise and escape the villa's collapsing structure. He succumbed to the noxious gases and was found lifeless. His dedication to both science and humanity in his final moments left an indelible mark on history, immortalized by his nephew's detailed accounts. As night descended upon Pompeii, the city was plunged into a darkness deeper than any night, illuminated only by the occasional flash of lightning-like electrical discharges from the volcanic cloud. Then, the most sinister and deadly manifestations of the eruption emerged: the relentless onslaught of the pyroclastic flows. These superheated surges of ash and gas, racing at terrifying speeds of over 60 miles per hour, became merciless agents of destruction, stripping flesh from bone in a matter of seconds. Buildings were buried, streets were choked with ash, and the bodies of those who had perished lay encased in hardened volcanic material, frozen in their last moments of agony. The city, once a thriving hub of Roman life, was now a silent, smouldering tomb. While the toll of lives was undeniably staggering, a resilient majority managed to defy the volcano's wrath and escape the clutches of Pompeii's demise. Dispersed across the vast expanse of the Roman Empire, these survivors forged new lives amidst the ashes of their former home. In a testament to the indomitable human spirit, many refugees of the catastrophe found solace and companionship in each other's company, forming new bonds of solidarity and resilience. Records reveal tales of love and perseverance as these displaced souls rebuilt their shattered lives in distant cities, their shared ordeal forging lasting connections that transcended the boundaries of time and place. Recognizing the plight of the displaced, Emperor Titus extended a benevolent hand, offering financial support to cities that welcomed the refugees with open arms. This gesture of compassion not only provided much-needed relief to the survivors, but also catalyzed the development of new infrastructure, laying the groundwork for the resurgence of hope and prosperity amidst the ashes of despair. Yet, for all their resilience and resourcefulness, the inhabitants of Pompeii faced an irreversible truth. The once thriving city, buried beneath layers of volcanic ash, would never rise again. Vesuvius's fiery fury had extinguished the Romans' claim to a city nestled beneath its shadow, leaving behind only the haunting echoes of a city lost to the ravages of time. Shortly after the calamity, opportunistic Romans descended upon the ruins, pillaging and plundering whatever remains of wealth and artifacts they could lay their hands on. As the years turned into decades, and the decades into centuries, the memory of Pompeii faded into legend. The city, once bustling with life and commerce, was slowly swallowed by the earth. Layers of ash hardened into a protective cocoon, sealing the ruins away from the eyes of the world. Nature reclaimed the land, and the precise location of Pompeii was lost to time. Not until 1748 was the fabled city of Pompeii rediscovered, emerging from the ashes to unveil extraordinary insights into the vibrant tapestry of Roman life. However, early excavations were marred by recklessness, driven by the pursuit of treasures rather than the preservation of history. It wasn't until the visionary leadership of Giuseppe Fiorelli in 1863 that a more systematic and conscientious approach was embraced. Fiorelli's pioneering innovations revolutionized the field of archaeology, most notably with his creation of the evocative plaster casts of the victims. By carefully pouring liquid plaster into the voids left by decomposed bodies in the hardened ash, he captured their forms in hauntingly detailed precision. This process immortalized their final moments, preserving the expressions of terror and despair that marked their tragic end. In a chilling echo of history, Mount Vesuvius roared to life once more in 1944, amidst the chaos of World War II, unleashing its fury upon an unsuspecting landscape. The eruption served as a stark reminder of the volcano's formidable power. Though not as cataclysmic as the devastating events of 79 AD, the eruption laid waste to an entire Allied airfield. Its colossal ash column and ominous pyroclastic flows casting a shadow of terror over the war-torn terrain. Golf ball-sized chunks of searing lava, propelled by the fury of the mountain, rained down once more on unsuspecting lands, casting a fiery veil of destruction over territories laying 10 miles distant. Amidst the chaos and destruction, a tale of miraculous escape emerged, a tale that would become yet another chapter in the extraordinary life of Sir Christopher Lee. Stationed with the RAF during the Allied occupation, Sir Lee found himself perilously close to the jaws of Vesuvius. Just days before the eruption, he embarked on a daring ascent of the volcano, unaware of the imminent danger lurking beneath its smouldering facade. Miraculously, Sir Lee narrowly escaped the inferno, adding yet another tally to his remarkable life's journey. In the present day, Mount Vesuvius stands as a sentinel of potential catastrophe, meticulously monitored for any ominous signs of activity. The modern city of Naples, standing in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius, echoes with the vibrancy of urban life. With over 3 million souls dwelling within its perilous reach, the spectre of a major eruption looms large, threatening devastation on a catastrophic scale. In the cataclysmic event of Vesuvius's awakening, the consequences would far surpass the tragedy of Pompeii. The city and its surrounding areas would be plunged into a nightmare of unprecedented proportions. Just as Pompeii was blanketed by a suffocating shroud of ash and pumice, Naples would be engulfed in a relentless storm of destruction. The streets would become rivers of molten lava, swallowing everything in their path. Buildings, homes, and landmarks that have stood for centuries would crumble into dust, reduced to mere echoes of their former glory. But it is not only the physical devastation that threatens Naples, it is the loss of life, the shattered communities, and the irreplaceable heritage that would be wiped away in an instant. Families torn apart, livelihoods destroyed, and a city left to grapple with the unfathomable depths of its grief. In the aftermath of such a devastation, Naples would face a long and arduous road to recovery. The scars of the eruption would linger for generations, a constant reminder of the fragility of human existence in the face of nature's wrath. Today, as we walk among the remnants of this once vibrant city, we are compelled to contemplate the dual forces of creation and destruction, the beauty and peril of living in the embrace of a volcano. Mount Vesuvius, still a looming presence, serves as a stark reminder that history can repeat itself, and all too often we memorize the dates and names of history, but not its lessons. The fate of Pompeii warns us of the delicate balance we maintain with the natural world and the enduring strength between human ambition and the forces of Earth. Pompeii is more than just a city lost to time. It is a powerful symbol of resilience, poignant narrative of survival, and a vivid illustration of the awe-inspiring, often terrifying power of nature. As we preserve its ruins and honor its history, we are reminded that while civilizations may rise and fall, the unstoppable force of nature endures. It is a humbling reminder of our place within the grand tapestry of existence, where nature's power ultimately reigns supreme.